Kenneth Branagh is probably one of the biggest directors in Hollywood that people might not be aware of, because although he's been directing for over 3 decades, he also has about 70 acting credits to his name, including roles in massive pictures like Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets and Dunkirk. The Irishman has even been nominated for 5 Oscars as an actor, a writer, and a director, and won one for Best Screenplay for Belfast. For now, though, we're going to focus on his filmmaking skills rather than his acting chops as we look at Kenneth Branagh's directing trademarks. Kenneth started out in the theater and eventually moved on to small roles in films and series. In his late 20s, he decided he was ready for the next step, and that became Henry V. He adapted Shakespeare's play himself, directed it, and plays the lead. The movie was remarkably good and turned Branagh into an overnight sensation.
So we've got that, which is the 3-shot we're talking about, then round here, which is a closer, tighter 2 with Geraldine in the background.
I was brought up watching movies on television, going to the movies, and then I start working in the theatre for like 10, 12 years, and suddenly I'm making films where, in a sense, I have naturally come home to, but I've spent formative years in the theatre. So I think there's a constant kind of relationship to it in my work that I'm only just beginning to understand.
Shakespeare runs like a thread through Branagh's career. After the success of Henry V, he would later go on to direct Much Ado About Nothing, Hamlet, Love's Labour Lost, and As You Like It, all based on the Bard's plays. Due to the extensive dialogue in Shakespeare's work, Kenneth is often forced to show lengthy scenes, which he turned into a trademark. He managed to find a way to keep them captivating without too many flashy cuts.
My intention was always to try and, in a 4-hour film, to make sure that we weren't just photographing people talking, that you gave the illusion that it was all happening in front of us, and also that you exploited what can happen sometimes when actors aren't interrupted, when it's all in one and, you know, things flow and spontaneity happens.
Just referring to Ken as the Shakespeare director doesn't exactly do him justice, though, as he's made all kinds of movies. And while he often casts himself, there's one thing they all do have in common, and that's that they're based on existing work. Whether it's Disney's Cinderella, Marvel's Thor, Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, Owen Colfer's Artemis Fowl, or Shakespeare's plays.
I've always resisted and resented the idea with classics that there is a single way to do them. I always say, well, how do you know? Were you there in 1791?
Kenneth Branagh is also not afraid to explore multiple genres. From comedy to drama to action, he's done it all.
I feel as I started as an action director with Henry V. The Battle of Agincourt was a significant piece of action. Romance runs through all my work, you know, and basically an optimistic view of the world, an optimistic view of human nature. I believe I want to see the good in people, even against a world that is cynical and unjust and difficult.
Another of his trademarks is a love of symbolism. No matter which of his titles you decide to watch, it can be like checking out a painting from a Dutch master that's filled with metaphorical objects.
When I think of Hamlet, or even recently Thor with a hammer, and Mozart with a magic flute, and Cinderella with a slipper, clearly I've got this obsession with symbolic artifacts and heroes.
With over 30 years of experience as a filmmaker, Ken is a master at his craft. Seemingly effortlessly, he knows exactly what kind of pacing each movie needs.
It's an intuitive thing. It's almost a sort of musical approach to it, a choreographic approach. You feel the movements in a film if it's well written. I think that my approach, because I come from the theatre, is to serve the writer. So I worry less about what I have to bring to it. What I'm always trying to find out what's there. Well, you're trying to find that out of the screenplay, and so that helps give you an intuition about where there should be less dialogue, where you need to go outside, where the camera should move very, very quickly, where you need to have a static frame, and you learn to listen to your sort of almost a musical instinct about it.
Whether as an actor or as a director, there's no stopping Kenneth Branagh. He does so many things, it's like he has 48 hours in his days. Leave it to this great filmmaker to make highbrow stuff like Shakespeare plays accessible to a mainstream audience.